Hello everybody! Got another knife video for you. This one here I think is like a holy grail item. We'll see. It's something that I wanted since the beginning of collecting knives. Hopefully. Just cut. Okay, interesting packaging. Now this is an expensive knife. Kind of interesting how it's wrapped. All right. Okay. Is this how it comes? Wow. All right. That's interesting. Comment down below if anybody knows how these things come. And this is from a very reputable dealer, so absolutely not saying anything about that. I mean, just I'm surprised that it would come in a baggie. You know what this is, guys? It's the Strider SnG. Like, it's supposed to be that 8-inch size. It's smaller than I thought it would be. I thought it was 8 inches. Yep, and it's 8 inches. It just feels smaller. I think the knife that I actually held, I've only held one of the, I've only held a Strider one time before, and it must have been the bigger version of this, which was like $1,100. Don't ask me how much this was, but it's a Magna Cut. Yeah, Magna Cut. It's got G10 on one side. I wonder how sturdy that is. I don't know. This G10 is very aggressive, but it is on the, not on the side that you stick in and out of your pocket. So that's not as bad. I mean, it's nice that you have that grip. This actually has a really good feeling in the hand. I mean, ergonomically, this is great. Let me feel the action. I mean, just, I'm a little taken back by this sound. You know, I'm into titanium. So yeah, already I'm a little kind of like, but I'm always like that. So don't get me wrong. This is a first impression. That was a little lock stick right there. It's going to be on washers. Supposedly this action here is going to be incredible. I guess those nubs are blade stops. Yeah, the blade stops. I mean, because you really can't use that to flick it out. I guess it's a thumb flicker. I have something wrong with my thumb here, so I'm just slow rolling it at the moment. So it would be a slow roll Spidey hole. It is the hole, and there's some lock stick here. I don't know if you can hear that. It's titanium on steel, and I can see something in the, I can see something in a pivot that's hanging down. I'm not, it looks like debris. I'm not sure if this is a proprietary hardware. It looks like it could be a standardized bit on the inside. That's just, I think that's just grease. That's what that is. Yeah. All right. I'm going to just play with that for a little while. The action on this supposedly is going to be great. The lock stick is common for a titanium frame lock without a steel lock bar insert. That should go away right away. So this is smaller than the one I held in my hand. I forgot what that one was. That, like I said, that one is $1,100. This was just about $900. So it is that 8 inches, and that's kind of 8¼ inches is really, if I had to pick a number, that would be my number. And this is exactly 8¼ inch, I guess. So I should be happy with it. It's just smaller than the one that I had held before. So it's the same size as the XM18. That's XM18 3.5 inch. And here's my Hinder clip. So there's the holy trinity in knife making world, and these two guys are part of that. Am I happy about this knife? Ooh, I just squeezed it and I felt something move. It's usually, with me, it's usually the pocket clip that I get to move. Yeah, no, listen, it's certainly beefy. Look at the look at the tip on that thing. Can you, let's just go through the measurements. So I'm going to take away everything here. Yeah, so we said 8¼ inches. The blade steel is just under 3¼ total length from this point, and then the cutting edge is under 3 inches by the sharpening choil. That sharpening choil is definitely clearly past the plunge grind. I think it starts after the plunge grind, which is kind of unusual, which is nice. I mean, I guess you have a finger guard here, and then you have the sharpening choil. So here's your plunge grind. You want to have the blade past the lowest point on this plunge grind, and so it is. It's back here, so that's great. When you can sharpen this a couple of times and you won't get a smile. That's real thick. Let's see, how does it cut paper? Maybe a fresh piece of paper. Make sure there's nothing on here. Nothing on there. Okay. Here we go. Wait. Hold on. Get another piece of paper. That might be unfair, right? That paper might be a little too tough. All right. Let's see. Yeah, I'm sorry. I'm a little spastic, let's just say. Well, you know, it's not known for its sliciness, and for a reason. Wow. That is so this is Magna Cut. Yeah, that's a horrible edge to it. I'm going to go ahead. Let's see. Hold on. Okay, so this is cool and not so cool at the same time. I'm going to get to play around and sharpen this on camera. So I've got two things that I normally like to use. I really like this workshop thing. I don't know what it's called, but it's got the ceramic rod. I really like that ceramic rod. And this over here, this strop over here, which is narrow. That one you want to be careful with because you can easily get off an angle, you know. You can easily get off angle on that one. So let's just see if there's a burr here or anything. No, it's just thick. Yeah, I mean, I don't know if you can see that blade thickness is, wow, so thick. And then at the very end, they just put a bevel on it. Wow. Yeah, that comes down to just a big beefy thing. You know what I'm gonna try? I like this, like I said, this ceramic rod. Let's just give it a little hone to it, and that might be enough. Yeah, I feel a little burr there. Do that twice. Really light. Just put a light touch on that. Get the right angle. All right, and then give it a little pass. All right, where's that paper? I didn't do much there. Usually, if anything would have happened there, it would have been that ceramic rod. Yeah, all right. See, already that's better. That's much better. All right. I'll give it one more pass on that. I do like the real thick blade on this thing. You know, I like a hard to use knife. Yeah, depending on what I'm doing, I don't necessarily need a real slicing knife. You know, if I'm going out in the woods or riding my motorcycle or whatever, I'm looking for other things than to be able to slice paper. Yeah. It hit the crease there. Ooh, yeah. That's good enough. You know what I mean? Whoops. Listen, this thing is really thick. Look how thick that thing is. Oh my gosh. Can you see? And then the grind, it almost looks, I think it's a flat grind. I think that's a flat grind. So the flat grind doesn't start until, you know, halfway down the belly of the knife or the stock of the knife. So you have a really thick edge until the end. This thing is just thick. This edge really is, the blade on this knife is the bevel. It doesn't even, the knife doesn't get really super sharp. It doesn't really get thin behind the edge. And then they put a bevel on it. Wow. Okay. Yeah, so hard use knife. This would definitely qualify. Yeah, see, that's much better. I'm so glad I dropped that in front of the camera. First time ever. Lucky you guys, right? So that's how you do it. And this thing, I think I bought it on eBay, and I bought it cheaper than MSRP. It's good. I like that one. And then the strop also. So this is Magna Cut, and it's titanium and G10. So the upside for me is that I can wear this. I can carry this outdoors, and it's not going to rust on me. It could be my Salt series kind of knife. Yeah, that is super thick. See, there's no blade play in this thing. It's definitely not as big as the other one, but you know what? It's not a bad size. I like it. Uh, that is good action for right out the box. There we go. Yeah, I like that. I mean, this is very aggressive, this texturing. It's the gun. What is it called? I think it's called the gunner grip. So what are my thoughts about this G10? I'm not crazy about it. That there is not even a liner in there. I was just so happy to see it. I'm definitely not dissatisfied with it because I wanted the Magna Cut, and I didn't want that 154 steel. And what was available at the time, they had different pivots, and they had different steels and different combinations. I think they had a Tiger Stripe. They had a few that were available. So of everything that was available, this is the one I wanted. So I'm not complaining about that at all, right? Because I bought it, and it is a good size. And that ergonomics on this knife is really good. I like that. That it's fatter back here. Every time I'm feeling something moving in my hand when I grab it. I do have a pretty strong grip because I ride motorcycles. I grab it onto the handlebars all day long. So, but it shouldn't be moving around, that's for sure. So I don't know what it is. I like this hardware. That's real kind of industrial, fancy looking. People complain about this clip all the time. It's certainly, you know, simple clip on a $900 knife. What about this opening? It's not the most comfortable like that. I mean, I'm gonna have to open it like this and close it like that. Excuse me. I'm gonna have to close it like that. So this is really a thumb flicking only knife, and then to close it, I'm gonna use that methodology because just to stick my thumb in there like this isn't very comfortable at all. And I have, a sliced skin or something here, so that's bothering me a little bit. But still, regardless of that, there is a little bit of lock stick here, and that's awkward. So, but this is fine. Lift it up with your finger and then slow roll it down. I enjoy that method to close the knife. That's fine. Works. I like the lines on the knife. The tip looks a little funny. It looks like they ground it too deep here, and the tip kind of flares out. It's very interesting. That's not. I'm sure that's unintentional. I don't know. Is that coming through on the camera? Let's see if I can make it come through. I can't hear. Do you see how that tip looks a little, I don't know, it doesn't look symmetrical. Like it flares out a little bit this way. Right? It's supposed to come down in the belly shape like that, a swooping like this, but it comes out like that. Tell me what you think. Now, from a penetrating aspect, that might even be better, right? Because it's got a little bit of belly and then a little bit of a drop point, all there happening in the tip. So that might not be bad, but I'm not so sure that was intentional. I love how this thing's just like thick blade stock. I wish I had a caliper. The blade thickness is as thick as you see this thing. Can you see how thick the stock is right there? Right? And then how it's sharp is at the very end of that thickness, they just put a bevel on it. it's like a wedge. It's like an axe blade to it almost. If you guys know what I mean. You knife guys, you better know what I mean. Otherwise, why are you watching this channel for? I'm talking about knives. Yeah, this is not bad. You know, I wish it was titanium, and that would be the $1,100 one. It had, and it was bigger, and it had the stripes on it, and you know, I don't know. And it wasn't Magna Cut. That's also, and I wanted Magna Cut. I like a stainless steel. I think the 154 is stainless, but I don't know what the heat treatment is on this thing. So, you know, I'm not going to get, I didn't have the time to sit there and do the research. You know, I've been collecting knives for 2 years, and I've never seen a Strider for sale ever. And I held a Strider one time in my hand. Some guy, I was in a knife store, and I had a Zermino, and I was like showing him my Zermino, or showing somebody the Zermino, and he whips out his Strider. I'm like, oh, totally one upped me. And I was just so happy about my Zermino. And guy, man, I'm gonna talk about bringing me down. Whatever. Fine. It's okay. There's a lot of people out there like that. It's not bad. It's not bad. I'm gonna like it. Don't get me wrong. I just what am I hesitant about? I don't know. I think maybe it was just that it just didn't cut very well. This is definitely. I think I'm a little nervous about how sturdy this is going to be laterally. Like if you had to, you know, stick it in something and twist it for whatever reason, right? This is just G10. So the forces would be right here at the pivot, and then it's screwed through. Like these things are just anchor points here. I think they're screwed into each other. I bet you the G10 has nothing to do with the rigidity. Well, it would have it right here, but that's further back. I don't know. I just can't believe it came in this bag. That's the packaging. You've got to have a lot of, you know, kahunas, that's the right word for it, to be able to, you know, say, hey, $900, and you can't slice paper right out of the plastic bag. You're gonna get a plastic bag, and you won't even be able to slice anything with this thing. You got to strop it first. Let's see if it does it again. Did I just get lucky and it got cut it, or did it really? Yeah, see, that's much better. See, but you have to have that device over there when you get this knife. And I bet you what, if you spend, you know, $900 on a knife, I bet you have a way of sharpening it. So close length on this is 4 3/4. It's a good close length. It's fat back here, so when you stick it in your pocket, it's going to be wide. It's going to block some of your pocket, which doesn't matter to me. I only carry one thing in my pocket. It's interesting how this clip has like a little lip in it, and it's hooked into it. I bet you that's totally aesthetics, right? They did that on purpose to give it this kind of hard to use industrial type feel to it. Man, that action's pretty good. There's a detent hole. I bet you this is just like a standard. Let's go check that out. Yeah, so the knife has a T30 Torx and T10s everywhere else. So unless I'm, you know, mistaken, I haven't taken this apart. I haven't watched any videos about this knife, but unless I'm mistaken, you don't need any special tools. It's just a T30. All right, yeah, so let's finish measuring. Did I give you all the measurements? Yeah, I did. We talked about the handle. Talked about, oh, the weight. Yeah, let's get the weight. All right, I'm on camera. So ounces is 4.4 ounces, or 124 grams. So 4.4, that feels good. I mean, to me, it feels kind of a light knife. Interesting shape, how it goes back like that, and how it just gets thin in the center. But yeah, this is a pretty good ergonomic knife. Real thick stock, great washer action. I like a washer knife. I mean, it's definitely not fidgety, though that's not bad for a washer knife. I do like the hole. I wish the hole was a little bigger. It's kind of a not the best opening ever. I don't like deploying it this way. I think too. Look at how that finger groove is so low, right? You're gonna get leverage the higher up that you push this. You know, the higher up you push on this. Here they're pushing it way down here. I mean, that's no good. You want to push up here. Yeah, this is all wrong for sure. That's the best way of doing it, by lifting it up from below. I'm not crazy about that, and I'm not crazy about this G10. It feels kind of, I don't know, feels kind of cheap. Like I said, when I looked at the website, I didn't know there wasn't a liner, and I just ordered it. I haven't done a lot of research on this knife because it just wasn't available. Right? Why am I going to look at a ton of videos on a knife I can't get? And I'm not even sure what's going on here with this company. They don't, they closed the business for a little while, and there's other controversy about it, which I don't really want to discuss. But and then they do these weird drops. Like, they made this knife, and I had an option of different pivots, different steels, and different handles, and striped and not striped. And that's a lot of different variety for a company that's not making a lot of knives to begin with, right? And maybe that's the whole custom world. Is this considered a custom? I guess it's got to be a semi-custom at the very minimum. They're not churning out knives. It would, if you're like a production company and you're only making, you're dropping 10 knives somewhere. You can't. I don't know how you can call that a production company. So I don't know what you call that, but I am not sure what's going on with Strider. So anybody wants to tell me what's going on, leave a comment below. What's going to happen is you buy a knife. I'm going to do a lot more research on it now that I own it. I tend to do more research on a knife after I buy it. We love to confirm how awesome we were in our decision when we buy a knife. Tell me you're not guilty of that, please, all right? I want to see how many people out there are going to lie to me and tell me they're not guilty of that. Yeah, that tip is... Somebody messed up that grind. For sure. I mean, I'm definitely okay with it. Don't get me wrong. Trust me, how I'm going to use this knife, it's not going to matter to me at all. So I don't know why I'm sitting here thinking about it. You know what I'm going to do? I'm going to carry this forever and ever and ever. And I may use it like 10 times. I'll be dying. Somebody will need something. I'll be like, oh, let me do that. let me pull out my knife I've been carrying forever and ever and ever and never used. Yeah. That is definitely a thick stock. Let's see. I got some cardboard here, right? My hand's still a little jacked up, guys, so I don't know if you've seen that. Don't want to gross you out, but let's see if we can cut this cardboard. Here, let me zoom out a little bit. This is how the sausage is made. I'm in this spare room over here. Oh, yeah, that sucks. I mean, it's so thick. Wow. This is definitely a self-defense knife, and, if I had to open a box, no problem. Like, normal EDC, gonna cut that tape? Yeah, no problem. That works good. Cut that tape. Yeah, look at that. Cuts that tape, no problem. But if I had to, defend myself, and you wouldn't have to worry about this tip breaking. That's for sure. I'll tell you what, that is for sure. Yeah, it's not. These knives are not great knives. Slicey knives. Excuse me. Because they're great knives. They're designed for what they're designed for, and they're great at what they're designed for. But they're not designed to slice open paper all day long or cardboard boxes. Yeah, I like it. It's interesting. The whole thing's interesting. It's definitely got a custom vibe to it. And what I mean by that is, the first time I ever bought a custom knife, I think it was a Curtis. And you spend, I think I spent almost $800 on that knife. And you think, oh my God, you're spending so much money, it's going to be amazing, right? Because it's so expensive. And then you get it, and the anodization is kind of not consistent, and There's just, human imperfections in that knife where when the machine makes it, it's repeatable and there's not a lot of variety or, in the knife from knife to knife or imperfections, variety slash imperfections. Where this definitely feels like some guy one day tuned this a certain way, and then if it was in the morning, it was tuned one way, and it was in the afternoon, it was tuned another way. I mean, that tip for sure is like, who let that go out the door, right? Nobody's checking that. Guy goes, whew, yeah, that looks all right, whatever. $900. Hey, I don't care. Like, I'm just reviewing this. So if you guys care, then yeah, look at that. I'm not pointing it out. Do I care? It could present a problem when I sharpen it, but I'm probably not going to sharpen it. I probably won't carry that much, basically, because I have so many choices. So I'll force myself to carry this, and especially if it starts tearing up my pocket. But that'll be on the inside of the pocket. I don't know. This thing is kind of cool, so we'll see. It's just going to be up against a lot of competition. This one right here, in particular, this knife is probably the most comfortable knife to use. It's not the greatest slicing knife, but it's a good knife otherwise. It's great ergonomics, man. I love everything about that knife. The Hinder Eclipse, that was. All right. So, yeah, this sharpening choil here is very, very interesting. I'm not sure what they were thinking about it. Yeah. That and the tip and the fact that I couldn't slice paper, which is not really designed to slice paper, but the fact that, wow, I wish I had a measuring device. This thing has got to be, how thick is that behind the edge? I mean, this is even so much thinner behind the edge. I don't know. Wow, that is thick. It's like I said, I don't know how to describe this to you, but it is just a big, thick piece of steel, and then they just decided to put a 45-degree angle at the end of that. Or it's probably, I would say that's got to be a 30-degree. I bet you that's a 30-degree angle, which means it's definitely not slicey. Yeah, that ceramic strop did the job, though. It's slicey enough. Yeah. If you got to open a box and all that, it's fine. But, what do I use a knife for? I use a knife to open a box, a package. This will definitely do it. And then, God forbid, I needed to use a knife for something else. I'd like to have a stronger knife. And I think certainly this qualifies. It's a good size, great ergonomics, great traction. I know this thing will definitely not slip out of your hand no matter what. I've seen this thing in titanium, this texture, and man, that is beautiful. And it has that same texture, gunner texture on both sides. And it might be the larger knife I've seen it on. I don't know. There's probably a lot of variety here, so don't quote me. I'm not a Strider guy. I mean, this is the first time I've ever owned one. This is the second time I've ever touched a Strider. So, but yeah, no, I like this. I like it. I can finally say I have one, and the gray is, it's fine. It is what it is. Not like I had a ton of choices. Yeah, so the lockup on this thing is definitely good. It's very, very good. I like the fact that it has the blade stops to give it some rigidity. I love that pivot. I love that hole in it. I think that's pretty amazing. I like the fact that it's on washers, phosphor bronze washers. I love a washer knife. It's definitely not a fidgety knife. It's not as fidgety as something that's on bearings, but that's you expect that. Like I said, it doesn't have a steel lock bar insert. The hole here kind of stinks. The opening here is totally in the wrong position for a front opening like this. So you'd have to open it like that. There's some lock stick, but that's normal. I'm not even going to comment because that should go away. I mean that typically will last maybe 50 or 100 openings, and then that'll go away. I love this width here. I'm not so crazy that it's a one side of it. It's all G10. So it's basically you got a titanium liner, and then this G10 just wraps around. And is that even like that's two? It looks like it's two pieces of G10 put together. I like the hole. I just wish it was a little bit bigger. I don't really feel that it's that sharp anywhere other than this texturing here. This texturing here is very grippy, but I wouldn't say it's exceptionally sharp where it hurts anywhere. It's very comfortable to hold. I wish it was a little thicker. I think personally, and or had a palm swell, but that's not going to criticize it for that. I mean, that's just me. I feel that blade stock is very competent. I just, with the G10, I'm not really sure. Now, G10 is like a polymer fiberglass kind of thing. Fiberglass, I think, and some other material. It's probably very strong, and the way it's attached could make it even stronger, right? I mean, fiberglass is not cheap plastic, right? I mean, this is definitely very strong. I just don't know how strong. Man, that is a rock solid. That is definitely rock solid. Why would they put that thing here, man? It's such a bad spot for it. An over travel stop here. So that's pretty good. Can't wait to carry this knife and see how it is. First Strider, yes. Oh, that's another thing. Everything here is very rounded. I'll give them that. Everything chamfered on the blade, on the side, smooth out. There's definitely put some effort into that. But they better for that price. So what are they doing? Are they where are they making these? I got to try to do some research on that. Is it like one guy doing everything, or what? I mean, like, why aren't they out there in the wild? All right, thanks for watching. See you later. Don't forget to like and subscribe. Bye. Small little channel. Not one of the big guys. Just bringing it to you as I get it.